We're now going to look at Unit 3, Lesson 4. This is the second lesson within Unit 3, our previous lesson being Lesson 3 in Unit 3. So we're just going to look at the big picture, the simplified scale, and the scope and sequence for Lesson 4. Okay, let's start off by looking at our big picture. Again, this is the first 9 weeks, and you'll see Unit 3 wraps up the first 9 weeks for us. If we scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see that Lesson 4 is Modeling the Distributive Property, and it covers 2 days of instruction. Now looking at our simplified scale or our cover page, you'll see again this is Math 6, Unit 3, Factors, Multiples, and Exponents. 12 days of instruction plus assessment time equals 13 days. Here you have again your vocabulary that they're going to see throughout Unit 3. Then moving on to our concept checklist, you have your self-assessment here for the students. I can teach someone as your exemplary student, the ones that fully understand the content and can turn around and teach it to another student. Then you have your 3s or your proficient students. Those are the ones that can do it on their own. Then you have your 2s that can do it with some hints, and those are just the students that are still struggling in a few areas and need some help to overcome those little hurdles. And then you've got your 1s. Those are the students that just aren't there yet. And this, again, is going to help drive that instruction. So if we scroll down and we find the distributive property, which is Lesson 4, you'll see it takes place on days 8 and 9. You've got your title of your lesson and then your course of study standard that goes along with that. And then you've got your kid-friendly I can statements. Use a model to represent an array for the sum of 2 numbers, and use a model to visually show the distributive property for the sum of 2 numbers. So now we're going to look at, again, when you're planning out your lessons, refer back to your unit notes just so you get an understanding of where this unit is supposed to be going. Then we're going to go to our scope and sequence for Lesson 4, Modeling the Distributive Property, and notice here it's 2 days. There is your new Alabama course of study for mathematics and your teacher note. And then prerequisites. Make sure you're paying close attention to this. If your kids are lacking in this area, this might be something that you could pull in as a bell ringer or an exit slip. Here you've got the materials needed, and then you've got your presentation strategies. We're going to focus just on day 1 in this lesson in training today. Day 1 has us to begin the lesson by using the first page for direct instruction on how to complete the arrays and make connections to the distributive property. Students should be fluent in finding the GCF using the ladder method strategy. This will aid in efficiency when finding the greatest common factor using the distributive property. And then if you look on down, you'll notice here that they also have day 2's presentation strategies as well.